Hello and welcome to The Good, the Bad and the Worst, a podcast where we watch movie trilogies and decide which movie puts the knot in astronaut. I'm your host, Griner, and that joke doesn't work as well with an Australian accent. Joining me tonight...
I'm Conan, and tell Commander Luke that disco sucks.
And I'm Commander Luke, and if we're going to call something Project Elrond, I'd like my codename to be Commander Gandalf.
That's so basic, so basic. All right. Of course, we are doing what isn't a trilogy, but there's a couple of movies out, both written by Andy Weir, or the books that they're based on written by him. So that's The Martian and Project Hail Mary. Project Hail Mary, obviously, just recently in cinemas, so we've all seen it and we wanted to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Now, coming into this, I had assumed that Conan's disdain for Interstellar was because it featured Matt Damon as an astronaut. Was I wrong in that assumption, Conan? What do you think of generally, were you positive coming into another Andy Weir movie? Did you enjoy The Martian? Because I had assumed you disliked The Martian.
So you assumed that my contempt for these movies was purely because of Matt Damon in space?
Yes, I assumed that's why you didn't like Interstellar.
I can't imagine a Bostonite ever getting into space. It's just too much for me. Well, you're right. Matt Damon can't be in space. It doesn't make sense. No, I don't know why this is a thing that people think I hate The Martian, it seems. For some reason, I've somehow been painted as this guy who goes against the grain.
I've heard that from 5 different people. So
that's right. Many people are saying it. Lots of smart people say this. People in the streets come up to you with tears in their eyes. Interstellar's got a whole other mess of problems. You can listen to our episode on the Nolan trilogy if you'd like to hear them and why that movie doesn't work. It's got nothing to do with Matt Damon. Matt Damon's great. I love Matt Damon. You've seen Good Will Hunting? Good film.
I have, yes.
And look, The Martian's good. It's fine.
I suppose we'll get into it directly. Luke, were you looking forward to Project Hail Mary? Do you have general positive vibes about these movies?
Yes, I watched The Martian in the cinema when it first released. I remember watching it when it came to like streaming or Blu-ray and everything like that. Shortly after that, I enjoyed the movie at the time. I hadn't ever watched it a third time again since, but I don't know. The two guys, Chris Miller and Phil Lord. Yep. Is it the other way around? No, that's the right way. Them two, Ryan Gosling, space, like 3 of my favorite things. I was like, the sound of this movie, just I don't know, not grinding my gears in a good way, but I didn't watch any of the trailers. I didn't want anything spoiled for me. I remember several months ago, Grinder, you said something to me about like, oh damn, I wish the trailer for it didn't spoil blank, and I was like, oh great, now you've spoiled it for me.
Sorry.
I told my wife, I was like, don't watch any trailers. And I was excited, and then obviously the feedback about this movie seemed to be really positive, and just I love Ryan Gosling. He's like he's my guy, you know. So yeah, I was keen to come into this. What about you, Grana? Yeah,
I was pretty keen for this movie. I think I saw The Martian in the cinema as well, and quite enjoyed it. We'll get to it, I guess. And then was pretty keen when I heard about this movie coming, and then I saw the trailers. It spoiled a certain additional character other than Ryan Gosling, and I don't know that I liked that tone or potentially what was going on there. It looked a bit funky to me from the trailer. I guess we'll get into my actual thoughts on it, but I was a little concerned that I wasn't going to really enjoy this movie.
Okay.
But like tonally quite different to The Martian, but potentially still a good thing. We'll get to it, I guess.
Like The Martian, Ridley Scott. Like, who doesn't love Ridley Scott?
Yeah, sometimes.
A lot of people.
He does. He's not batting 100. Old Ridley.
He's made some stinkers.
He's made some real shit.
You ever see Alien? He comes down.
Hey, we will not besmirch Alien here.
There's only one alien in that.
As if there was just more.
Oh shit.
All right. Let's get into some stats.
Yep. Stats.
The Martian came out in 2015, had a budget of $108 million, made $630 million at the box office. Project Hail Mary came out this year. Budget of $200 million, has so far, in like a couple of weeks, made $317 million worldwide.
Pretty good.
Seems to be doing pretty well. Definitely getting some like critical buzz out there as well, and good word of mouth from what I've seen online. I think it's only actually had one weekend at the box office so far. Is that right?
Two.
Or two? No, it might be two.
It's two.
Still fairly new in cinemas. The critical reception has been an 80 on Metacritic for The Martian and 77 for Project Hail Mary.
Pretty good.
The Martian was like a pretty big hit, really.
Yeah, weirdly so.
It does feel a bit like one of those movies that everybody can see, kind of thing. A bit like Shawshank and, I don't know, Titanic. Like, I almost put it on the same level as those movies where it has pretty broad appeal, I suppose.
Yes, it's a crowd pleaser. Yeah, it's nothing's really offensive or like off-putting in any way, except maybe space if you don't like that. But yeah, it's very accessible. I don't know. Yeah, it's a weird film like that. Like 2015, I guess, was just a different time, but the success this movie had kind of, I think, really surprised me. I was not expecting this to be as big as it was. And yeah, and everybody I knew saw it, and everybody I knew loved it as well. And it was a real sort of like, to me at least, real success story in kind of the most interesting way of like, it's IP in that it's adapted from a book, but kind of came out of nowhere, I felt. And then, like Andy Weir had a following, but he was not a household name. But yeah, this movie comes out with like superstar attached, big director attached, a cast that is obscenely big.
It is. Yeah, it's a proper ensemble cast. This one, isn't it?
Yeah, I just took really like had legs. Kind of nuts.
Yeah, he seems like a bit of an interesting dude, Andy Weir. Like if you look at his history, he was employed by Blizzard for a little while and wasn't very successful there apparently. And it seems like he took a while to find his feet, like find his calling, but then has gone on to write three books or a handful of books, and all of them seem to be pretty popular and well liked, and definitely found his niche, I think.
Yeah, both these movies tap into that, like they're kind of grounded sci-fi, but like kind of optimistic fun in it as well. Like, so we'll probably talk about it more, but like sci-fi traditionally is it's pretty self-serious, either kind of like dystopian or generally like very stern. It's not really like a genre you have fun in generally, I feel. Whereas this is kind of like both really, really hard sci-fi that's like really concerned with the actual practicalities of it.
Yes.
And then it's also just like I was kind of surprised. Both these movies have a really optimistic view of the future and of space and of humanity. There's no like, like we were trying to figure out if there was a third film to attach to this trilogy, and it was like Sunshine, which essentially has the same premise as Project Hail Mary, but is very different. Like that's an existential sort of horror film.
Yeah.
And like Arrival deals with language like Project Hail Mary, but that is a very deeply emotional drama. Like Interstellar, 2001, all these space films are all serious and like really dealing with the heavy questions of space and human exploration and the final frontier and all this stuff. Whereas these films, like Andy Weir seems to have no interest in that. He's like, what would it actually just be like if you were in space? And it wasn't like existential. It was just having fun, or it's just like you've got to solve a problem. And that's a really interesting thing that I assume has been done before, but probably never to this mainstream.
Yeah, the only movie that it reminds me of a little bit is Apollo 13. Like that movie, obviously based on a true story, and has a happy ending as it happens in real life. And so it's largely pretty positive and has some similar kind of like, oh, we've got to solve a problem with this limited tool set. How do we do it? People at home are helping us, and they're kind of constructing the same thing at the same time to try and figure out how to do it. Yeah, that's the only movie I feel like comes closer. But you're right, like this movie is very concerned with the science, but is also having a lot of fun. in a way that you kind of you don't get in that genre a lot.
Yeah.
Without being like bombastic or space opera style sort of thing. Like
Yes.
those exist, but they're very, very different to these movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's get into The Martian. An astronaut becomes stranded on Mars after his team assumes him dead and must rely on his ingenuity to find a way to signal to Earth that he is alive and can survive until a potential rescue.
I before Conan goes on his hatred tirade, I really like this movie when I first watched it back in the day. I think it's got a really good cast, a big cast of good actors and everything. You give me a movie where Sean Bean is talking about Elrond, I'm like, all right, this is basically a new Lord of the Rings. I'm here for it.
Yep.
I like the simplicity of this. It's just a guy alone on another planet, just basically trying to figure out, okay, how do I deal with this situation? How do I grow food to last as long as possible? Like, not like, I don't know, it feels kind of grounded of just like the problems you would face if you were stuck alone on Mars. And I like the humor in this, like he is technically the greatest botanist on that planet. You know what I mean? Like, I like.
He's also
Matt
the
Damon
worst botanist, though. Doesn't say that, does it?
Yeah, that is true, and he does blow himself up.
Yeah, pretty
like
shit.
as much as Conan hates Matt Damon, like I think he's really good in this role and in this movie, and he, for the most part, has to carry it without interacting with other people face to face, and so his performance is just him with a very orange, barren backdrop, and I think he does really well.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. It's an interesting. I was going to say, like, it's an interesting role. Like you say, he's very isolated. He's talking to himself a lot, but the character has, he kind of has an ego, right? Like this character kind of lives and dies on his ability to be charismatic and likable, and I think Matt Damon kind of smashes that along the way, in my opinion. Like this movie has to ride on that a lot, like the next one, honestly. And yeah, I think both he smashes it, and then the rest of the cast who's back home trying to help him do too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a real like movie star vehicle. This movie doesn't work with like a lesser actor, one who can't hold the camera on himself for just. It's
Ben
never
Affleck,
like 20 minutes.
maybe. Ben Affleck.
I mean, they probably should. Wouldn't it be better if they
If it was them too,
if they
just
interchanged them? Maybe like some scenes it was Ben Affleck, and there was just no explanation as to why.
Just when he grows a beard, it's Ben Affleck, and he shaves, and it's Matt Damon again.
See, that's a cool film.
Yeah. True.
No, like I think I don't dislike this movie. Here, I think let me tap into my own thesis for I think why everyone in the world it seems knows that I'm not the ultimate Martian fan. So when I saw this movie, I was like, oh, that's pretty good. The critical reception, I was just kind of like 80. That's really high. People love this shit. And I had a friend at the time, and he loved this movie. He adored it. He was just like this. He's like, this movie is amazing. His name was Luke, and he's a real little bitch. And then we were just talking about it, and I was like, I didn't think it was that amazing. He adored it. And I was like, what? I was trying to say, he was like, he said it was possibly his favorite film of all time. He's like, it might be the best film I've ever seen. He's like, it's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. And he was like, what's wrong with it? Name one thing that doesn't work about it. And I was just like, and that seems to be a lot of the people's reception of this is just like, it's just an amazing film. And it's.
Are you still friends with this guy? Because I was going to say, obviously, this is the guy that's spreading all these rumors that you hate this movie. He heard that you dislike his favorite movie of all time, and he's the one that's putting it in everybody's ears.
It does make sense around that time, pretty quickly. The internet got hold of the
everyone
fact
stopped being friends with you.
I'm not the Martian's biggest fan.
Yeah,
I just think this movie has this movie gets more praise than I think is warranted, and that is not to say this movie is bad. But for some reason, this film specifically seems to really get people to be like, yeah, that movie's great. I love The Martian. And granted, what you were saying before, like, there's something just kind of accessible about this that I think everybody can and did see this and was like, it is kind of hard to not like it. There's nothing to not really like about this film necessarily. And so much like Shawshank, which is apparently the best film ever made, according to IMDb and other things, that's kind of like where this movie fits into, I think, where people are just like, yeah, it's a great film, really good, really fun, everything about it works, really original, blah blah blah. All that is true, but that doesn't make it like this incredible, flawless, perfect film. It's fine. I think it's definitely got problems that I just don't think anyone. I don't think anyone wants to talk about them because this was refreshing, like seeing kind of lighthearted, grounded sci-fi that is interested in the science of sci-fi, whereas for 50 years, we've had sci-fi be dominated by space operas or by really grand philosophical stuff, rather than how would you actually travel in space? And you have to account for things like extra oxygen when you're growing potatoes, and that stuff's fascinating. It's not the best. It's not fucking the best film ever made.
40 some.
Yeah, I think you're right. This movie is like, it's very concerned with the science, but it also, I don't know, it does a good job at making you feel clever along with Matt Damon, right? Like, it takes you along for that ride. I'm not a scientist. I enjoyed chemistry and physics in grade 11 and 12, but like, I'm there for the things he's talking about, and along for the ride with him, making water and all this stuff. Like, I don't know, it does a good job at like presenting the science in a way that makes you feel clever along with him.
Absolutely does. Like, Drew Goddard's script is really good.
Yeah.
Like, Drew Goddard is a really clever writer, really, really knows how to sort of keep it feeling like dramatic and feel it moving, because it is just like one problem after another. But like you say, it makes you feel smart enough. It kind of dumbs the science down, but never makes it feel that way. And it's explained in such a way that you always feel like you're as clever as Watney for sort of figuring that out. Like, that's a really hard act to do.
I feel like they probably should have explained how black holes work at some point, but
I agree.
Maybe they could have done something with like paper with a pen, but I digress.
I just don't get why they don't talk about love and how he gets saved by love. Like, that's what saves him.
No, because obviously he goes back there, and that is what eventually could save him when Matthew McConaughey shows up. But
yes, you're right. Interstellar is a sequel.
It is.
Yeah, I didn't catch on to that. I'm just too dumb for this movie. Maybe that's it.
Got to have a pretty high IQ to understand The Martian.
Yes.
And I don't know, this movie's got a lot of heart too. Like, his crew, like, there's a great camaraderie there between them all, and then them finding out that he's still there and going back to save him.
Yep.
And just, you kind of feel like, the whole of Earth is behind his rescue, right? Like, and even the marketing was about that, right? Like, it's his face, and it's like, bring him back.
Bring him back. Yeah.
All that just works really well for me. I don't know. Donald Glover as like a frizzled out expert savant dude does it for me.
Pretty underused though. He's got like 3
Oh yeah, he's in there. Well, it's such a big cast. Anyone on Earth is getting 5 minutes screen time. Like, Mackenzie Davis, I like her and everything she's in, but she's here for about 5 seconds. Even Kirsten Wiig is in like a weirdly serious role here, but is kind of carrying her own for about 5 minutes. Like,
bizarre casting.
I'm a big Jeff Daniels fan. I like Jeff Daniels in everything.
He's good in these kind of roles too.
But there is something that it's feel good in this, where you just see, I don't know, Earth unite as one, like everybody in these different countries, like, America's working with China. That would not happen in the current political scheme.
I have a question about
if this was made now, I'd be like, let's bomb China, let's take their thing, let's kill them all.
Well, they just forget about Watney, right? It'd just be like, we can't say.
What? Who? What?
Yeah.
Never.
We've got countries to bomb.
Watney? I don't know what you're talking about.
That's the clever slogan that he uses,
Yeah.
Yeah, like that, the politics of it does, honestly, this rewatch, I kind of felt that more of like, this is a deeply optimistic view of how all this stuff works. Like, they are just, NASA is like, this seems to be like this sacred institution that they're like, we have infinite money and we'll just pay anyone as much money as we can to save one human being. Because if we don't...
Well, they do talk about budget quite a bit, about like, we can't really... do this, and they got to find the most, and the crew sort of screw them out of it. They're like, no, we're going to do this way.
Well, no, they talk about that, but then Jeff Daniels is always like, I'll get you the money. He's never like, no, you can't do that. He's like, sorry, we'll find something else.
Do it in 2 days instead of 6 months. We'll pay for it. Overtime.
Yeah, it's like, he's still basic. Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of overtime for a lot of people. Like, it's just, it's got this really like optimistic view of NASA and of, this camaraderie and this spirit, and like all of this stuff being like, we need to just save this one dude. And I genuinely just don't think that like I say, it wouldn't fly now. And it kind of dated this. That's not a huge criticism, but it is just something that's funny.
Did not
I
make
don't
you
know.
feel good? Like, oh, this could be our
Yes.
world again. Maybe we could get back to that.
No, because that was our world 10 years ago. Maybe like, oh,
Yeah.
look what we've lost.
Yeah, I know. Painful.
The other big question is this: is like, did you guys feel there were genuinely any chance that Mark Watney would not survive?
Yeah, it's
Didn't
an
feel like
interesting
that.
question. Like, it doesn't. I don't know. I there's lots of points where it heightens the tension a lot. Like, particularly at the end where he's rocketing through space, basically naked, and he's punching a hole in his suit and flying around like Iron Man. But it's like, I don't know. I never felt like he wasn't ever gonna get home.
No.
But I feel like when you watch, compared to other space movies, I remember that final like act of this whole thing of, oh, he's got to remove the roof, he's got to remove the windows, put a tarp over it, and launch into space. It felt so chaotic of like, this is unheard of. Like, how could somebody survive this? And then like the
Yeah.
Iron Man thing as well, and spiraling, having to catch him. I remember having so much anxiety when I first watched it, being like, this is insane. Like, I always remember being like, I couldn't remember fully all the stuff that happened. But I was like, I just remember the ending is crazy of like, how is he going to survive this? So obviously back then I was a lot more deluded, and I was like, oh my God, he could die. And maybe it was just after the red wedding. I was like, I don't know, everyone could die. But
Nothing's sacred anymore.
but yeah, this time it obviously, it doesn't have that same sort of thing. But yeah, I don't know.
No, I think that is the appeal of it. Is like it's the how, not the if. Like, there is, in my mind, there was no, when I saw this, there was never a question of would he survive, and that was kind of reiterated on the rewatch, because there was a lot of time being like, he's going to die. How can we do this? And it's like, you know how he's going to do this. There's no chance that Matt Damon in this movie is going to die after like a 2-hour journey. But like the appeal of it is it's like, I've heard it referred to as like professional porn, and what that means is like watching someone who's really good at their job do that job is deeply satisfying.
Yeah.
And just watching people solve problems and like, wow, you're the best at this, and that's what these characters all do. It's Donald Glover who knows this stuff. It's a leader of NASA who knows how to navigate it and get these people. And like
Benedict Wong knows how to construct everything in record time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right. It's people who are good at what they do doing it well.
Yeah, and there's joy in the process.
Yeah, and I like the sort of how they go back to old tech for a lot of it. Like, they're using the camera and like deciphering sentences to each other for that little part where he digs up the old rover from like the 90s, and I don't know. There's some cool aspects to it. Obviously, then it just sort of turns to like text chat and all that sort of stuff. But
Yeah,
I will say, as far as tension and everything goes, I do remember, and even this time, when the room blows up and all of like his crops get destroyed, it is like your heart sort of like, it's like a gasp moment of like, oh shit, how is he going to come back from this? Like, it feels effective, that part.
it is. Yeah,
It is deflating, and I think the only other tension for me was like, oh, is somebody who goes to is the rest of the crew going to put themselves in danger to save him, right? Like, is somebody else on the ship going to die? Not Matt Damon, he's going to get out okay, but is the captain going to sacrifice herself to
Bucky? I thought Bucky was going to die.
Yeah, Bucky.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least
He got that
loses
kiss
an
from
arm.
Kate Mara, and then he's done, right? But
I know. Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Yes, and death. Yeah, and that's an interesting question of like, what does this movie look like if that happens? And it's like, but then it becomes like, a whole different movie. But maybe maybe a better movie. I don't know. Just a different film, I guess.
Is there a better movie?
Yeah.
Screw all of you Martian fans.
You are the Martian here, Conan.
You know what? There's an even better movie called My Favorite Martian. Also got Jeff Daniels. Let's talk about that.
No,
Christopher
it's
Lloyd.
not.
What a film. I think like this is the kind of story that, not to discredit the movie, but this is a good example of like, there was a reason this was a book first. This is exactly the kind of story that works in a book in terms of it goes. I haven't read the book, but
Captivating book.
like probably it would be, because it's like reading a professional manual on how science, like space travel, would actually work and how the survival works. And like reading that would be super fascinating, I think, and that's probably why this book was so successful. Of like, oh wow, this guy Andy Weir has actually kind of figured out how this would function, rather than just we have an interstellar spaceship. It's like, we get to Mars on realistic tech, and we find the old rover, and we communicate with this what is it, hexadecimal counting system. I'm like, that's clever. You know, your average screenwriter or author doesn't think of that, but this guy knows science. And so, and in that book, then most of the appeal is like learning that stuff. So it's not as concerning about the emotional stakes. But then in a movie, you do kind of need a little bit more, and that's why, yeah, at the end, it's sort of, it's like, will he make it? It's like, of course he'll bloody make it, and all that kind of feels a little bit tacked on. Whereas like, you don't need this. But yeah, hooray, The Martian! What a
It's part of it that you're a contrarian, kind of like, I don't know, like this movie is like, fair enough if you're like, oh, this movie has no edge and is like, you know, a little bit milk toast or whatever, but I don't know. I think it's a fun ride, and it is a vehicle for a movie star, and I think Matt Damon drives that vehicle well, right? Like,
it is. It's it's original. It's well shot. It's clever. I think it's lacking some emotional depth, and like I find, yeah, I don't know. I also find that he's not very funny. And even though this movie's not a comedy, there is a lot of time where he's like making jokes and trying to crack wires, and I'm not laughing. I like this movie; it's entertaining.
I will admit you know, he's kind of there's a few monologues of him being like, once you plant crops on a planet you've colonized, that I colonized Mars, and if you
space pirate.
if you steal a vehicle without express permission, you're a space pirate. Like, I found that stuff, you know, is not that charming. On a second rewatch, but
it was charming the first time though, wasn't it?
I think so, from memory.
You were like, "Hey, Serenity, Firefly, yeah, space pirates, shiny."
Stop just saying keywords.
It's coming back, you know.
Firefly, Serenity, shiny.
The proposal.
Yeah, the anime. Was it the animated series? I'm stoked.
Yeah, it's coming.
Is that what it is? Is it? I didn't see what the actual reveal ended up being.
It's not going to be a thing, but that's still something.
OG cast, isn't it?
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked.
They're all so old.
Yeah, I know. Watching that just makes me feel really old. All right, shall we move on to Project Hail Mary?
Yes. Let's.
A science teacher wakes up alone on a spaceship, and his memory returns, he uncovers a mission to stop a mysterious substance killing Earth's sun, and an unexpected friendship may be the key.
Man, I love me a movie about like suns dying. I really do.
My favorite subgenre.
Like, you know, Hemnet was really good, and
both songs. Wow.
Hey. No, but like,
big fan of the Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, exactly. My favorite.
The one true son.
I love stuff where it's like stuff that I guess, you know, theoretically could be a problem that we face like in the future. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's this weird thing that nobody ever expected to happen. Is happening. How do we solve that? And what's the ramifications of that? I find really interesting. And so just hearing the premise that, you know, the sun on this earth is going to last another 30 years or whatever before everyone's dies. I was terrified of that when I was a kid. When I heard the sun was going to destroy Earth one day, like, it gave me trauma. Like, I was like, oh no,
this as a child.
Like, this was year one. Like, this, when you learn it in school that the sun in a billion years will destroy the Earth.
It teaches, I was like, kids, the sun's going to die.
This is horrible. Jeez. Like, it gave me existential dread, and I've never recovered. And I love Ryan Gosling, so like, I was for this movie, and as soon as it started, and just hearing about, I think they do it a good job of sort of explaining it, even just him in the classroom, sort of explaining I forget what the Vitruvian line or whatever they call it. I really like that, and just I don't know. I like this movie. It would have been interesting had somebody not spoiled that there was an alien in it, but I digress. It's not a big deal. Thanks, Corona. But
it's in the trailer.
Yeah, I didn't watch the trailer, but yeah.
And like, it happens at like the 40-minute, 50-minute mark. Like, no, it's not
I know.
Well, I'm just curious, like, do you think it would have been better if you didn't know that? Would that have, like, blown your mind if all of a sudden an alien appears?
I kind of wish I hadn't seen that. I kind of wish that wasn't in the trailer, to be honest.
because especially like that ship showing up, I'd be like, man, collectors from Mass Effect, like this is some
Yeah.
cool shit. Like who?
Very
Then when
different
it's
film.
kind of then it'd be like, yeah, it's a little rock comedy dude. I don't know. Obviously a different vibe. Maybe that would then make you more disappointed if you didn't know that coming in.
Could do.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the book again, same as Martian. It probably would have been really exciting to be, a third or way into that book and be like, holy shit, what? There's like another ship out there, like an alien. What is this creature and picturing it and all this sort of stuff? I think that would have been really fascinating. So I don't know how that would have worked with the movie, but I feel like in this day and age, you can't have that part of this movie not be in any of the trailers or not known about this movie. Obviously, the people have read the book, so people knew about it anyway. But
I guess that's true, right? Yeah, it'd be a nice surprise, but then at the same time, it's this is a known story.
Yeah,
silly to expect that to stay hidden.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But still, I really enjoyed this. I went and saw it in IMAX. And it was really good in IMAX. Let me tell you, there's like a scene where Ryan Gosling and a female character are talking on Earth, and like a big explosion happens in the background, and like a sound wave comes through. I literally braced for impact. It felt like that sound wave was going to hit me because it scared the shit out of me. I may have drifted off for a second before it because it had been a long day. And I was like starting to drift off, and that scared the crap out of me. He's like, boom. And I was like, whoa. And then I was all excited for the rest of the movie. It was a cool experience. So IMAX was good.
I also fell asleep for a moment in this film. And that's not an indictment on the movie. It's just I drifted off when in that part where they're starting to figure out how to communicate. And they're sort of I fell asleep when they were just like at that glass wall, and then when I sort of came to, they were talking. I was like, okay, either I've missed an entire movie or I've missed 5 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, not an insult. It's just same deal. It was a long day. This movie is really good. I think the Lord Miller sensibilities translate really well to Andy Weir's sensibilities. Like this kind of this earnestness of like this, just obviously incredible comedy, but like there's a real earnestness here. There's a real like Lord and Miller just all the themes they explore in this stuff is like friendships and camaraderie and like found family. Obviously, the Jump Street movies, as we established, are some of the best comedies of the century.
Yep.
Their work on what is it, the Lego Movie and Spider-Verse. Yep.
Yeah, good comedy.
Like they're really good at this stuff, and like it just fits with this whole idea of this down on his luck scientist meeting an alien and like just creating an incredible bond. I think this movie is really funny, and it has it is really funny. It's a really unique tone. Like I said again, this is Sunshine, but instead of being existential, it's got some existential moments to it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it is really like pretty fun. And like maybe that is how we would be if we were facing the end of days. Maybe humanity would just be having a good time and just kind of like laughing at the absurdity. I don't know. But
yeah, it does have a surprisingly light tone given like he's on the spaceship on his own and everyone around him died. Like the situation on Earth is pretty dire. Like apparently in the books it's very dire, and they're doing things like melting polar ice caps and stuff to try and slow down the cooling.
right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but this movie doesn't really explore that very much, right? Like the situation back on Earth is largely unknown after he leaves.
It does. The choice of doing like the flashbacks are, I think, really good because the dramatic stuff it feels like that earns it, and that ramps up as it goes because it starts off and he's having fun on the ship where he's like drinking the vodka and he's just like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And it starts off and he's looking back when he was like a bumbling science teacher. And then as it unravels and the drama increases and the stakes increase, the space quest increases. And so ultimately when it gets to that reveal near the end where they basically forced him onto the ship against his will.
Yep, drugged him and put him on.
Yeah, that's like a real gut punch. But it's also like at that point the comedy has like I don't know, that feels a lot better. That really feels like it's the right choice. Like it doesn't feel undercut by the previously exceeding comedy. I don't know. It's these Lord and Miller just get this shit. They really just are so good at this kind of thing.
It's so good.
Of like delivering the proper emotional gut punches and knowing how to like really hit the character moments without ever removing comedy entirely, but without ever making it feel sort of like contradictory. they hit the balance of it really well.
Yes.
Do you guys like Rocky as a character? Like, he's, I don't know. He like, seeing the trailer, he felt kind of Muppety in some ways. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a fair amount of practical effects there with him.
Yeah, so it's a puppet done by James Ortiz.
Yeah,
he's like a puppeteer, and it's all puppet work. Like, it's all practical. He was there.
Really cool.
They used his voice for it. Like, originally they had a different voice.
Yeah,
should have been the Rock. Should have been the Rock.
That would have been very meta. But like, apparently him and Gosling had such good rapport, and like on set doing it. That's why they ended up just using him for it. And like, this is probably something. I'm not a big Muppets puppet guy. I don't seek that stuff out. This is like probably the best thing I've ever seen of it, though. I think like the puppet work's incredible. Rocky feels so real, like a creature with no face, no mouth, no eyes, just rocks and legs.
But you still feel for it. Like, when he sacrifices, it's like, oh shit, no! Like,
does just an amazing job of like humanizing this creature, and like their relationship is so believable. It's so emotional. It's so heartwarming. Like when they hug, and he's hugging like the big orb. It's beautiful. Like, it's a really beautiful moment.
Yeah.
I think that's the most impressive thing of this film, like how they did that.
Yeah, because it feels like it could be super goofy, right? Like, just bananas, and that's kind of, I almost got that impression a little bit from the little bit you see in the trailer, and I was like, oh, I don't know about this. But yeah, these guys just know what they're doing. I guess they pull it off. Well.
They never detract from like the subject matter or the seriousness. And again, I think the tone here kind of works as well. Like, because there is a genuine question of like, will they? For this, at least, I felt, I'm like, will they actually ignite the sun, or will this be kind of like will this just be like he finds new life, or they find a new planet and they all move humanity on? Like, the driving question of the Martian.
How it was going to end. I didn't know how it was going to end.
Yeah. Yeah, like maybe that's it. Even if it's like maybe everything will be okay in the end, there still felt like there was more like a more interesting direction it could go in. Of, will a third race of aliens turn up and save them all, or I don't know. Will that is that where the collectors finally rock up?
And
I don't know.
There's it sets up for you that this is a one-way trip, right? Like, you're not expecting him to get to go home. You're not expecting him to find some sort of happy ending. And he claims he's okay with it, and then kind of does a 360 as soon as he finds out he can get more fuel. But all of that, like, it does feel like there's real stakes for him, even if it's just at his personal level, which, we talked about. You don't really feel that much in The Martian.
No, his journey of like becoming a hero and like accepting to be a hero, and being forced in a situation where he has to rise up and respond is really, really good. I think absolutely nails that. Reluctant hero, overcoming odds, just being smart, doing what has to be done. And like, he never chose this. He was forced into it. And like, that's what true heroism is rising to
forced.
And like, true heroism is rising to the situation, even if you don't want to or were never chose it.
So, Conan, how would your view of this movie be different if this was Matt Damon?
I fucking hate it. Burn it down.
Rocky's.
If it was Ben Affleck, though,
it should have been a competing thing, But
can you just imagine if it was Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, and one of them's Rocky? Holy
yeah.
And they're going full Boston. No. It is funny, like, how both of these have like two of the biggest movie stars of the time. Like, I'm glad they didn't just bring back Matt Damon as like it's the Martian sequel for all you fans out there. Like,
he shows up a third of the way of the movie and almost kills them both because he like tries to steal a ship and blows it up. He's like, there comes a time in
every science fiction film when Matt Damon
space. When is the Matt Damon cameo going to happen? Maybe it could have been the puppet from Team America. But what I really enjoy in this, I do like the stuff on Earth. Obviously, we sort of just small C before the trip as opposed to after the trip or during the trip or anything like that. But I really like him figuring out how the molecules, like whatever you call it, I don't know, the science stuff where they put a box inside of a box and it's like dark, and just watching how it all reacts, like the science side of it, while they're all just watching him in this room and they're just like hoping he doesn't die once he's exposed to it or whatever, is really fascinating. Is it Carl, the security guy that follows him around, and they go to the hardware shop together and stuff like that? I like their relationship, even though he betrays him too, man.
Me and Carl had a baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And him explaining it to all the the proper scientists and stuff like that in the war meeting and stuff like that. There's a lot of good stuff in those early scenes and the flashbacks that I really like.
Yeah, I find all the flashback stuff I think I preferred that a little bit. Like that stuff I think was really good. Because that felt like the most, how do we solve this problem? And it's just professionals being really, really good. And it's like Sandra Hüller is really great in this as well. I haven't seen Anatomy of a Fall, so I don't have any exposure to her at all. But like, I think
she's great in that.
Yeah. But I think like she's great in this, just kind of as the kind of like the cold boss of this all, who at first feels really callous and like she has no idea about the human cost. But then you sort of realize as it goes on, she does. And that's why she's leading this. And she has to be this way because she is facing such a huge quest of, I have to basically kill people to make sure we save humanity. Like the karaoke scene is, I don't know, really effective, I think. Great song choice. Just incredible, like, cutting back of these two people's faces and how they're reacting. Like, that just sort of unpacks her character, I feel, in such a good way.
Yeah, very, very strong moment in this movie, for sure.
Did you like the ending?
I think that's from the book.
Surely.
I don't think they've changed it at all.
I mean, it does feel a little happy, right? Like it's a little saccharine almost, but I'm okay with it. Like I think the movie earns it in that you do really feel the stakes for him before that point. I really enjoyed like I'm sure this comes from the book too, but like the way these aliens were designed, like they're so different to humans. Their technology is totally differently based. Like, they talk about how he doesn't understand things like relativity and stuff, but he's able to, manufacture these intricate designs. Just, I don't know, very, like, and a very different look at an alien to what we're used to, I suppose, right? Like, it's not it's not some big-headed grey monster. It's not, it's not a monster at all, really. It's this little sentient rock. It's, I don't know, I found that really interesting.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
Very original.
Yeah, and it feels grounded. Like all of this, I kind of like this one's take on. It's like this is a lot more sort of the fiction of science fiction, where it's just like what happens if aliens exist. But it's kind of, it feels like it's trying to make the most rational explanation for what they could be and how they could exist, rather than just these are some ultra sentient wise being. It's what if they were kind of like this evolutionary bizarro thing of like what is it? There's the element that they're made of that's like supposed to be a gas, but it's a solid or something. Xenon. Yeah, and so they're incredible craftspeople, and they've sort of like stumbled upon space travel almost in this interesting way. I think it was really cool, and like I really like that, like taking on science fiction and being like, here is something that, like space travel and aliens and all this stuff that we don't know, but here's how it could potentially be. And if we find aliens, what could they actually be like, rather than just flying saucers and sticking probes up our rectums.
Yeah.
Like I don't think Rocky would be a prober, which is pretty cool.
Probably not, unless you asked him to.
Except when
he do that.
Except when he eats, that was pretty gross. But
did you guys like all the all the sort of the Rocky jokes? Like there's a lot of like fist my bump and doing a thumbs down instead of a thumbs up, and like saying sentences incorrectly really quickly. Like that's a certain. I don't know. It feels like a certain type of humor. Did that work for you guys?
I found it endearing.
Yeah, I think it did for me too. Because I know what you mean. Like sometimes that can be grating. I'm trying to think, but there's other examples of this too that I like. Like he talked a bit like HK47 from the KOTOR games, like ending a question with question and stuff like this. Like it's I don't know. I think that can work.
I mean, I love the cinema, and I turned to my mate, and we both were like, "Fist my bump," like it's going to be a thing. I'm going to say it to you guys. We fisted.
Where'd you guys go? Where'd you guys go after that?
It was very late.
A friend of mine said, like, called it kind of like millennial humor, whereas like, and he equated it. This is kind of like the way that millennials would joke a bit to each other, sort of things. I'm like, maybe I can sort of see that. I can see why it might.
We're
not
millennials.
Be.
Well, I was going to say you literally are that generation. You can be okay with things that your generation likes. That's allowed.
What does your generation think, Grana? Like,
what are the boomers thinking?
Hey, I'm like middle millennial. I'm not even elder millennial. So get the F out of here.
No, I know.
No, I'm joking. No, I'm not that. I'm not that old. I'm not that offended by my age.
Yeah, no.
I know what you mean though. Kind of like there's we talked about it last week, where it's like the kind of the lol so random humor. Like there's a few of those things out there that are now coming kind of into mainstream that we kind of grew up with. It feels a bit weird, but I think it mostly works here. I know what you mean. It can be grating when they put those characters in there.
A lot of it is that weird, like, broken dialogue where they say a sentence not perfect, and it's like I'm a bit. This is not me. No speak no language. Like that sort of thing. Like,
and you're meant like you're meant to laugh at him not understanding or saying something like "fist my butt." It's like, that can be misconstrued. I think it's good. I liked it. I actually found it really funny. I just heard.
I think that comes to like delivery, like performance. Like to hear that that's just the Muppet person is actually really good, because I thought he had a really good sort of deadpan delivery of stuff where it was just yeah.
And I think it helps that the rapport between him and Gosling seems so good. Like there's that moment where Ryan Gosling's like doing a video log saying how he's got this, he's got a roommate now and he hears everything I say and he's like trying to get away from me. And Rocky's in the other room going, "What are you talking about? Are you talking about me?" Like it's just. I don't know, it's a really good moment.
I heard that.
Yeah, I liked it.
Would you guys leave the rocky planet? Would you come back to Earth? Seemed alright.
I mean, dude didn't seem to have much going on Earth, right?
No, he didn't. He didn't. And why? Okay, why does Ryan Gosling not have much going on?
It's a good question. What I mean?
Like
that's the leading thing here. How does someone like Ryan Gosling? How's he a washed up?
He's just like me for real. I can relate to him. Look at him.
Come on. Yeah. He's getting all those like his students' mums are all over him. He is slaying Gash like there's no tomorrow. Sandra Hüller is just like straight up. She's like, "You can't go to space because I need you here to repopulate the Earth when we freeze over."
I forget that. I must have been asleep during that line, but
she says it's there in the script.
Oh, true.
There's an alternate ending where
from the book that's like Ryan Gosling, you must stay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Apparently, there's another Andy Weir novel that Phil Lord and Chris Miller are going to do.
Ooh. Holy shit balls! What is that?
It's about a jazz musician on a moon base. So.
Oh, fuck! Nice. I love moon jazz.
Yeah.
That's my favorite genre.
Artemis, I believe it's called.
Artemis.
I might try and read this one before it comes out. Be one of those guys.
I was going to say, Grana, have you read any of his stuff? Because
I often thought I should, and then watching this, I'm like, oh man, I wouldn't actually mind reading these.
Because it seems like you'd be right down your alley.
I've fallen off reading a lot in the last few years since having little kids. They're not great at giving you a moment to yourself that's quiet. We struggle with that a lot in our house at the moment. One day.
No, that's fair.
One day peace shall return.
And I'll read all the books.
Not today.
Yeah, okay, so this is pretty cool. Takes place in the Moon City. Porter and Smuggler. I love that shit, man.
Let's not spoil the whole movie, eh?
Yeah, apparently Phil Lord and Chris Miller
give me a few years.
Like, yeah, when we're ready, we're going to do that one. So,
That's cool. The right people for it.
Keen for it.
I was in an interview. They do seem really like they love this project. They seem that they were invested for a long time, and it took a long time to make because this is all like all the sets were practically made. This was like a real labor of love, and like no green screen.
It felt like that. It felt
Yes.
good. Like it felt. Yeah, I really liked the ship and everything like that.
Yeah, everything felt very tactile and very real. Like they were talking about one scene where like in the gravity stuff they would like had to rotate sets and do all that stuff. So like you can feel like there's nothing scrimped on here. I just wonder how long it'll take to make this. Like, if this is their next project, this might not be out for like
You're gonna have to build a moon.
5, 6 years. Got to build the first city on the moon.
Yeah.
Who will be the hot actress then that will play?
Oh, it's an actress. It's a
Sydney
lead
Sweeney.
person?
I'm going to say Zendaya, but we'll see.
One of those two.
Just get Chalamet.
I think Chalamet needs to just chill for a bit.
Yeah, I agree.
No, this next one that will get him the Oscar. You watch. It's gonna be such good PR.
Chalamet's going to like slap the host of the Oscars one day. So I feel like he's like on that trajectory. We'll see.
Yeah, he's going to have a breakdown if he doesn't win in the next.
Someone will
year.
make
If he doesn't win for
joke.
June, he is gonna.
Yeah, he's gonna rally an army.
He will lead a holy war against us. Yeah.
Against Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Do we rank them?
We know Conan's ranking.
Project Hail Mary, every other film ever made. And Martian down the bottom.
The Martian. Yeah. I think Project Hail Mary than The Martian.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too.
I do like The Martian.
So do I, and it may just be recency bias. Like,
Yeah.
if we revisit this again when Artemis comes out, my ranking could be different. We'll see.
Yeah,
Might do.
exactly. Which we will.
Which will be like 10 years away. If we're still doing this podcast for 16 listeners in 10 years' time,
We'll have made it.
something's
we
gone
really-
very right or very wrong. We will see.
Really screwed up bad.
Exactly.
All right, Luke, you're our next pick. What are we doing? What Marvel movie are we doing next?
No. I feel inspired, actually, after watching these movies. And I love me some space. I love me
Interstellar has already been done.
So this is a trilogy, maybe not fully official. Maybe I've coined this trilogy, but
So many real trilogies we have not yet done. And we keep pulling this.
but this is the Cosmic Contact trilogy. So it is
Arrival.
2001: A Space Odyssey, Arrival, and Contact. So I feel like these movies deal with 3 different stages of like types of contact. So you have understanding, language, all that. Philosophy, like faith versus science, and evolution, cosmic transformation.
Should this not be a quadrilogy with Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
That's what a lot of Google was telling me, but I don't know. We just do trilogies here. Okay.
Oh,
So go on.
Yeah.
And I'd never heard of that other movie. I'd never seen it, so
You never heard of Close Encounters?
I probably have, but I don't know.
I've never seen it, but like it's okay.
It's well
I don't know. I mean,
referenced around
you can like decide my trilogy if you want, if that's how it works here. I didn't know.
Well,
that,
I
but
want to decide your quadrilogy.
maybe I should just add some movies into your fucking next trilogy.
Please do. Please do. I'll never get to my next trilogy because
if
it'll
you've
always be
seen
on
them,
streaming
if
for when we eventually watch it in 40 years.
I hope they leave streaming. You son of
they
a-
will. Shit.
Did you want to add the 4th one? I'm happy to if you guys want to. Do you feel like
I will use this as an excuse to watch that anyway.
Griner, are you down?
So, up to
It's
you
4
guys.
movies.
Sure.
They're all pretty
Reluctantly.
long.
Yeah, that's my concern.
Yeah.
Also, two of those I have struggled to sit through in the past, so we shall see.
Not Arrival, because Arrival's
No,
the greatest
not
film of all
Arrival.
time.
No, not
He's not talking
Arrival.
about Arrival. Surely not. No.
Talking about, you said 2001, right? That was the first one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be.
I don't know.
Which-
People love that movie. It feels like a bit of a
Which-
slog.
I have
Yeah.
never watched. I've never watched.
that'll
So-
be
Close-
an interesting conversation.
Close Encounters has that mashed potato scene, which I can only think of Homer Simpson and his clown
yeah.
college. But anyway,
No, we're sticking with the normal trilogy.
All right,
Like,
whatever.
thematically, that's the good trilogy.
Well, I'm going to watch the Clown College episode of The Simpsons, and you can't stop me. So,
Sounds good.
all right. Thanks for joining us for the good, the bad, and the worst. This podcast is brought to you by a couple of books by Conan Clark: The Taste of Iron, and God Grotesque.
One day we'll be starring Ryan Gosling.
There's a
and
third
Matt
one
Damon.
coming out soon.
Yep, good fun
Yeah,
romp.
if Matt Damon came here and said, "I want to star and produce a
You would
movie
be like,
based
the
on your
Martian
books,"
is my favorite movie ever.
Ah, I'd be like Matt. I'd be like anyone but you, Matt. Where's Ben? Bring
yeah, where's
Ben.
Ben at?
I want the
Any
real.
questions for Ben?
Yeah, we'll redo that.
Yeah, catch us next time for that random ass trilogy that Luke's decided, and
Random. So thematically good.
give us a rating on iTunes and Spotify. Helps us out greatly. We'll catch you next time.
Peace.
See ya.